Protesters have camped out overnight in the South Korean capital after the country's anti-corruption agency failed to arrest the president. Yeol was impeached after he declared martial law in South Korea a month ago. East Asia correspondent Kathleen Calderwood joins us now from Seoul. Kathleen, what's happening where you are now? It's pretty noisy in the background.
Yeah, so Ruby, we're just around the corner from the presidential residence. Now, we're at an anti-Yoon protest here. As you can see, I might just step out of the frame. There's several hundred people here. At least some of them have been camped out overnight. And I would note that it got down as low as -5 here in Seoul overnight. There was even a light dusting of snow yesterday. So really dedicated and passionate protesters here. There is also a pro-president protest just a little bit further up the road, and we saw people turn out yesterday. There have been supporters of the president camped out near his residence now for some days since that arrest warrant was approved by the court a few days ago. They, of course, were seeking to block the efforts of the anti-corruption agency yesterday to arrest him. Now, those officers, investigators who were accompanied by police, did enter the residential compound, but they were in an hours-long standoff with the presidential security service and eventually abandoned that attempt to arrest the president, citing concerns over safety of the staff. So we're expecting here, as you can see, people have camped out overnight, but we're expecting there will be more protests here in Seoul after weeks and weeks of political turmoil.
Wow, -5 degrees is a cold night indeed. And what has this political turmoil been, Kathleen? How did we get here?
Well, as you mentioned in the intro, a month ago, President Yeol declared martial law. It was late on a Tuesday night on the 3rd of December. It was completely unexpected. He made it in a national broadcast. And the members of the parliament, which is controlled by the opposition here, scrambled to get to the parliament, to the National Assembly. Now, there were images at that time of parliamentary aides barricading doors to allow the parliamentarians to carry out that vote unimpeded by the military and police while martial law was still in place. They voted to block that, and President Yoon did lift that declaration about 6 hours after he originally made it. But of course, the damage was done. We saw days and days of protest. There were more than 150,000 people took to the streets the following weekend calling for his impeachment. He wasn't impeached on that first attempt, but he was eventually impeached another week after that. However, the turmoil hasn't stopped there. His acting president, the Prime Minister, was then impeached himself. So the country is now on its second acting president. And at the same time, we've seen this investigation going on by the country's anti-corruption agency. They're investigating the president for insurrection, which is one of the few charges that the president here in South Korea is not immune from.
And we're seeing these protests happening on both sides now, but where to now? What happens next?
So as I mentioned, we're expecting more protests today. Local media here is reporting that there's a small chance that the anti-corruption agency might attempt again today to arrest the president, but it seems more likely that they'll probably wait until at least tomorrow. It sounds like they're trying to basically plan, get more officers to join them. It was being reported overnight that an agency official was saying that when they went inside the presidential compound, they were outnumbered by the presidential security service, about 200 officers from that service. So obviously they're probably trying to get some more numbers, but certainly they said they would be considering their next steps over the weekend. However, that warrant does run out on Monday, so there is a deadline to try and arrest the president if they are going to try again.
Okay, thank you.